Check this out. Behind these yellow pads are the top 10 pregnancy symptoms that people are questioning. And while Dr. Google might not have a medical degree, it turned out that the top searches say a lot about what real moms are going through. So today, I'm breaking down the internet's most searched questions about pregnancy symptoms. But first, if you are new here, welcome to Diana in the Pink. My name is Diana. I'm a physician assistant and I specialize in women's health and gynecology. I'm also a mom of 4. On this channel, we talk about pregnancy, women's health, and babies. So make sure to hit subscribe and also let me know in the comment section how far along you are. I love reading about your comments, reading about you and your pregnancy. But now let's jump into it. So when people type in, why do pregnant women get, Google will automatically fill in the most commonly searched questions. So these are what real people are actually wondering. Now, I've started off with question number 10, and I'm gonna work our way up to the most searched question about pregnant women. So let's start off with, why do pregnant women get hemorrhoids? Why do pregnant women get hemorrhoids? You know why this is Googled so much? It's because people are embarrassed to talk about it or even ask their medical provider about it. Okay, so what are hemorrhoids? In a nutshell, hemorrhoids are swollen veins in the rectum or in the anus. They can feel itchy, sore, or painful, and they can be on the inside, in the rectum, or externally where you might actually feel them when you are wiping. Anybody can get hemorrhoids, but pregnancy can increase your chances of getting them due to your body's increased blood volume and then your growing uterus putting extra pressure on the pelvic veins. That slows blood flow back to the heart, causing those veins in the rectal area to swell. Add in constipation and straining on the toilet, and you got the perfect recipe for hemorrhoids. And there's no point in talking about hemorrhoids without talking about how to help with them. So how do you get relief? So if you don't have them yet and want to prevent them, make sure you're getting lots of fiber and water, and then avoid straining on the toilet. If you already have them, over-the-counter witch hazel pads can soothe them, and so can sitz baths. And donut pillows can help if it hurts to sit on them. And be sure to talk to your medical provider before trying other over-the-counter creams. Some are pregnancy safe, but not all. Bottom line is, they aren't fun, but they are fixable. Try to prevent them if you can. Keep regular, and don't be afraid to talk about it. You're definitely not alone. Next question. Why do pregnant women get constipation? Okay, this kind of goes along with the first question. For this answer, we're gonna blame one of the pregnancy hormones, progesterone. Now, while progesterone does help to maintain the uterine lining, it prevents early contractions, and it supports the placenta, all which are crucial for pregnancy, it also relaxes the smooth muscle in your body, including in your digestive tract, which means food and waste move more slowly through your intestines. That, plus the iron in your prenatal vitamin, can cause constipation, not to mention your growing uterus putting pressures on your bowels, slowing your bowel movements. So here's how to help, and it can be really simple. First, staying hydrated, keeping active, and then eating fiber-rich foods like fruits and vegetables and whole grains. You can also talk to your medical provider about safe over-the-counter options like fiber supplements or stool softeners. Let me give you a couple of pro tips though. Don't ignore the urge to go. So holding it in makes things worse. And then you'll also want to avoid straining because, like I mentioned earlier, straining can cause hemorrhoids or make your existing ones worse. Next question. Why do pregnant women get anxious about labor? Okay, why do pregnant women get anxious about labor? So I think that this is really important to talk about because it seems like every movie and television show that depicts labor always makes it incredibly chaotic and dramatic and honestly kind of terrifying. Like it's something that just happens to you instead of something that you can actually prepare for. So I think pregnant women feel anxious about labor because many women have never really been taught what's going on in their body and what their options are for how to handle anything that comes up that's unexpected. And when you're going into something that big, like labor, without clarity or support, of course you're gonna feel anxious. You know, I've created an online course that's designed to help with just that. It's a birth prep course called Own My Birth that walks you through everything from early labor signs to your hospital options to what you need to do if things don't go according to plan. It's evidence-based, empowering, and made for real life. Whether you're planning a vaginal birth, a C-section, or you're just not sure yet. You don't have to go into labor scared, you can go in ready. And I'm gonna drop a link in the video description if you wanna check it out. Next question, why do pregnant women get carpal tunnel? Oh, okay, good questions. Carpal tunnel. So carpal tunnel is numbness and tingling or pain in your hands and fingers. And it's caused from a nerve which runs through the narrow passage in your wrist getting compressed. Now, it's usually from overuse or arthritis or injuries, but when you're pregnant, swelling and fluid retention can cause carpal tunnel symptoms. Now, fortunately, it's just from fluid retention from the pregnancy that the symptoms usually go away on its own after you deliver. But in the meantime, wrist braces, ice packs, and avoiding repetitive hand motions whenever possible can really help. Next question, why do pregnant women get leg cramps? Now, I personally got them horribly. Not everyone does, but for anyone who gets leg cramps, they are not fun. Now, you could try to prevent them by stretching the calf muscles before bed, staying hydrated, and then gentle daily exercises. But what can someone do if they wake up with a leg cramp? So, to give you a visual, a leg cramp is basically where the muscles tighten involuntarily and then they don't relax on their own, which causes a sharp, strong, seizing pain. And to get the pain to go away, the muscle needs to relax. And with a muscle cramp, you have to manually make the muscle relax by lengthening the muscle. So, quick anatomy lesson. These leg cramps are usually in the calf muscles, and in order to lengthen that calf muscle, you'll want to straighten your leg and then pull your toes towards you. In the second trimester, most women can still do that on their own, but in the third trimester, many women can't even see their feet, let alone reach them. So if you have someone that can help you stretch the calves, that helps tremendously. Otherwise, you can use a towel or a stretching band, throw it over your foot, and then you can pull your toes towards you. If you get your magnesium or calcium levels checked and they are actually low, calcium or magnesium supplements might help. So if they're really bad like mine were, you could consider talking to your OB about checking those levels. Next question, why do pregnant women get bloody noses? Okay, I've talked a lot about this in my pregnancy series, but when you are pregnant, your body creates extra blood vessels to support the baby, especially in areas like your nose and your gums. You combine that with the increased blood volume and the hormonal changes that thin the blood vessels, and you've got the recipe for a lot of bloody noses. Dry weather and frequent nose blowing can also make it worse. So saline nose spray, humidifiers, and then gentle blowing can help. Most of the time it's harmless, but if it's really frequent or heavy, make sure to talk to your OB. Next question, why do pregnant women get heartburn? Heartburn is another really common issue with pregnancy. Okay, so you guys wanna know why? I always like to explain why. I hope you guys like to hear it. So with heartburn, there's a few different reasons why we get it when we're pregnant. Basically, your stomach is being affected both on the top and on the bottom. One of the pregnancy hormones, progesterone, relaxes the smooth muscles in your body. I already mentioned that, including the valve between your stomach and your esophagus. So stomach acids can more freely go up into your throat. And then your uterus is growing and putting pressure on the stomach from below. So less room in your stomach, again, pushing stomach acids into your throat. And that acid in your throat is what causes that heartburning sensation. Laying down flat also allows that acid to flow more freely. So of course, we often feel symptoms at night when we are trying to sleep. So to reduce those symptoms, avoid large meals, don't lie down right after eating, and then if spicy foods and fried foods trigger your heartburn, just try to avoid those. And then consider an antacid, but just be sure to check with your medical provider first. Next question, why do pregnant women get swollen feet? Swelling in the feet and the hands is really common, especially in the second and the third trimester. During pregnancy, your blood volume increases by nearly 50% to support the growing baby. Now with that extra blood volume plus your growing uterus, fluids tend to pool in your legs. And that's what causes the swelling in your legs. Now hot weather, salty foods, and standing for long periods of time can make it worse. On the other hand, staying hydrated, wearing compression stockings, elevate your legs, and walking frequently can make it better. Just be aware that if the swelling is sudden in your hands or your face, make sure to call your medical provider. This could be a sign of something more serious called preeclampsia. Next question, why do pregnant women get cravings? Did you guys get cravings? Put it in the comment section if you get cravings and what they are. For me, for my third pregnancy, I could not get enough jalapenos. I still love them. First off, not every woman gets weird cravings during their pregnancies. I did with 2 of my pregnancy and then I didn't with the other 2. And it's not weird if you do. And we think pregnancy cravings are most likely due to a mix of hormonal changes, altered taste and smell perceptions, and then your body's increased nutritional needs. Now, sometimes cravings can reflect a deficiency of some sort, like craving red meat when your iron is low. But most of the time, it's just your body seeking comfort or quick energy. It's totally normal. Last question. Why do pregnant women get morning sickness? Okay, I gotta tell you, I am really glad that this is here because there has been some recent research that helps us understand why we get morning sickness a little bit better. And it's pretty exciting, at least I think it's pretty exciting. So morning sickness affects up to 80% of pregnant women. And I think it was grossly misnamed. It does not just happen in the morning. It can happen any time of the day or night. For years, we've all thought that it was caused mainly by the rising hormones like HCG, but more recently, there's been another culprit that's been named. It's a hormone called GDF15, which is made by the placenta during pregnancy. And this hormone has been found to trigger nausea and vomiting. Now, this is exciting because now they are researching if there is a way to safely block this hormone, which might be a huge breakthrough from helping with morning sickness. Now, much of the time, morning sickness does improve by the second trimester, but for others, it does linger throughout the second trimester and even into the third. Staying hydrated, eating small, bland meals can help. And I've actually done a few videos all about morning sickness, which I'm gonna link to up here. But hey, if you or someone that you know or love is pregnant, hit subscribe and share this video with them. We talk a lot about pregnancy on this channel. In fact, I've made a whole pregnancy playlist where I walk you through pregnancy week by week. Each video in this playlist covers a week of baby development, pregnancy symptoms, what to expect at your OB appointments, and so much more. So I'm gonna put a link to that playlist right here. Click on that and I will see you over there.